Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is another episode of Ladies First. I am your host, Amber Vickers. And today we got a good show. We got a good show today. A lot to get into. I've been missing you guys for 2 weeks. It was Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve. So a lot of things have happened in the sports world. A lot of things have happened outside of the sports world as well. But before I get into that, I'm going to shout out the Unwrapped Sports Network for a great 2020. We had a great 2020. The directors had a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about things we want to do moving forward. So the Unwrapped Sports Network is moving forward with new projects. Unwrap These Bands is coming back. I'm happy about that. All the departments are going to collab together. So I am the director of the basketball department. So Caleb and I are going to get together and we're going to form one department for basketball, which we'll talk about college basketball, G League, international, all of that's going to be into one along with the NBA. Of course, you got your bets. They'll be collabing with me on some videos as well with Andrew and I for our podcast, Count the Bucket. So it's a lot of great things happening with the Unwrapped Sports Network. 2021, we're going up. We got Twitch, we got TikTok, we got YouTube. We have Periscope for now. We got Facebook. So we're trying to use every social media platform to get you guys the content that you deserve and the content that you want. So if you haven't followed the Unwrapped Sports Network on Facebook, do so. Invite your friends. This video is streaming on the Unwrapped Sports Network Facebook page. I don't have Facebook personally. The only social media that I have is Twitter. So this is streaming on my page. It's also streaming live on YouTube. But if you miss it on Twitter, you can go catch it on YouTube. It's streaming live on Twitch as well. So we're trying to reach as many platforms as possible with all of the content that we have for the Unwrapped Sports Network. I'll be doing more content tonight. I'll do an NBA recap tonight. Later on, after Backstop Banter does their video, they go on at 9 Eastern. So some big news happened in baseball today as well, but I'm going to let those guys tell you about what happened in baseball. Yeah, it's been a lot. 2021 has not disappointed, let me tell you. It has not disappointed at all. A lot going on. Before we get into what I really want to talk about today, we got to pay some bills. So check out our shop, teespring.com/store/unwrapped. Ladies First now has gear. I'm going to buy some gear on Friday and hopefully be able to wear it in the next week or two. It usually takes like a week or two to come in. But I'm buying gear on Friday, which is tomorrow, and I'm going to wear my gear so you guys can see what I have. I have coffee mugs, and I also have T-shirts. So I'm going to be sipping my water. I usually drink it out of the bottle, but I'll be sipping my water in my Ladies First mug, also wearing my T-shirt every single show. So I have gear now. All the live lineup, they have gear. Everybody on the live lineup has gear. Fights has gear. Generation Z has gear. I have gear. Count the Bucket will probably get gear. I think Betts is going to get some gear. So everybody's going to get gear for the live lineup. You guys go support that. teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Also, gambling, mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $1,000, guys. So you can win $2,000. You can win $2,000 on that. Go to mybookie.ag and you can do that. A lot of things going on. The NBA, you got the NCAA. So Corey and Alex bet on everything. They have props for everything. So if you want to learn how to do that, Bets Unwrapped goes live. Goes live now on Friday. Well, no, Saturdays, because Count the Bucket goes on Fridays now. But Bets Unwrapped goes live on Saturdays now. They used to go live on Friday, but they moved it to Saturday. So check out Alex and Corey to learn how to do bets. And Unwrap These Bands is going to be going live as well. So I'm glad Caleb is bringing that back. Also, Keeping It Blunt with Caleb and Perry. I'm not sure when they're going to do their first live show, but that is a new show for the Unwrapped Sports Network, Keeping It Blunt. And the title means what you guys think it means. Okay, guys? The title means what you guys think it means. So if you want to spark up, enjoying Caleb and Perry in great conversation, you guys check out Keeping It Blunt. I'll keep you guys updated on when they'll be going live. I'll retweet it on my timeline on Twitter. My Twitter handle is right underneath there, so you guys can read it. Also, rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off of your order. So, sore, achy muscles, it's getting cold outside. You want to work out. CBD cream, it's for you. So, you guys can go check that out. Now, what to talk about today on today's show? I had a hard time figuring out what to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, because there's just been so much going on. And I'm trying to wrap my head around everything that's going on. I have my iPad open and me trying to figure out, okay, Amber, what do you want to start the show with? Because some ladies did some great things, and I don't get into politics on my show. I just don't. But since I do not get into politics on my show, I'm going to say this one thing. I want to shout out the WNBA for their work they did in the bubble and the wubble. They called theirs the wubble, not the bubble. They did amazing work in the wubble. I want to shout them out. And they flipped Georgia. They pretty much flipped Georgia and made it blue. And that's big. That's huge. If you know your U.S. history, you know why. Like I said, I don't get into politics on my show. It's not my thing. I did study it in college. My degree is in law and society, but I have a minor in human relations. Okay, guys? So it's kind of they kind of tie in together a little bit. I understand humans and how humans think, and I know how to relate to humans, but I also understand law and society, politics, law, all that. So that's neither here nor there, but I just want to shout out the WNBA. The ladies are first. I put the ladies first. Then I end the show with a special shout out to ladies that are doing amazing things as well. That's big. That's big. The WNBA really is the blueprint for how things should work. If you want to go on the social justice side, they did amazing things. They did amazing things. And I just want to shout out those ladies. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just not going to do it. But I wanted to shout out those ladies. We're doing an amazing job and standing up for what they believed in. The owner of the Atlanta Dream made a statement. She got booted out of office. She conceded today, I believe. And now Georgia has a new senator, I believe. Yes. So things are happening. Things are happening. Women are making things happen. Stacey Abrams, shout out to you. She made a lot of things happen in Georgia on the political side. And WNBA had a huge impact of what happened yesterday, and literally yesterday, and the day before yesterday. So I just want to shout them out and say congratulations to you ladies, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep up with the good fight. All right, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame announces eligible candidates for the class of 2021. So let me see who's on here. Yolanda Griffin and Lauren Jackson are both on here. So those are the two women that are on here. I'm doing the ladies first. So the women that are on here are Yolanda Griffin. Oh my gosh, she was so good with the Sacramento Monarchs. I love watching her play. And then Lauren Jackson, she was great for the Seattle Storm. So those are two women that have been nominated for the Basketball Hall of Fame for 2021. And make sure. And that ceremony is September 21st in Springfield, Massachusetts. So shout out to those two ladies as well. All right, we talked about the ladies. Now, what do I want to talk about first? I want to dive into some NBA first today. I usually save the NBA for last, but I'm going to talk about college football probably a lot. I'm going to talk about the NBA or the NCAA. We'll go women's NCAA first. We'll do some more. We'll do some more ladies. We'll do NCAA first. It's a lot, guys. Sports, I have to keep up with so much. I have to keep up with a lot. So I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about first? I know I want to talk about the ladies first, but what else can I talk about? But I will talk about the NCAA first, women's NCAA first. Now, if you do not know, Duke women's basketball team has canceled their season. So the Duke women's basketball team canceled their season. That was huge. That was big. Kara Lawson is now the coach for the women's Blue Devils, for the Lady Blue Devils, as I should say. She used to play for the University of Tennessee. She used to play for the late great Pat Summitt. And they decided to cancel their season probably a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, because I haven't done a show in 2 weeks. So it was after I did my show. I want to say it was after, because if it was before, I probably would have mentioned it. But yeah, the Lady Blue Devils have canceled their basketball season. But there's some action going on tonight. Let's get into some action tonight. Arkansas is getting beat by Tennessee, number 13 Arkansas. My surgeon's daughter plays for Arkansas, so I keep up with Arkansas women's basketball because my surgeon's daughter plays for Arkansas. Let me see how many points she has. Let's check the box score. Let's see how many points she has. She hasn't played yet. It's the fourth quarter. She hadn't played. She's usually been playing, but she's a freshman. She's been playing, but Arkansas is a very, very good team, and she hasn't played. She might be injured because she usually plays. So Thomas, Daniels, Ramirez, Dungy, and Slocum, Barnum, Oberg, Davis, and Mason. No, she didn't play today. I don't know if she's injured or what, but she usually plays. But Arkansas is losing to Tennessee, big at Tennessee, 86-71. And Arkansas is number 13 team in the country. Tennessee is not ranked. I believe Tennessee probably will be ranked after this game because they are 6-1 right now. So they should be ranked after this game. They'll go 7-1. Ohio State is up on Illinois, number 16 Ohio State, 44-13. Louisville is early action there against Virginia Tech. They're up 13-6. Maryland beat Michigan State. Number 12 Maryland beat number 23 Michigan State, 93-87. Mississippi State, number 14, beat unranked Florida, 68-56. Nebraska loses by 2 to number 15 Michigan, 62-64. Indiana steps all over Penn State, number 19 Indiana, 85-64. Virginia and Syracuse have been postponed. Georgia and South Carolina have also been postponed. Kentucky plays Texas A&M tonight on the SEC network. So that game is going to be after Arkansas, Tennessee, because right now they're on the SEC network and they are late in the fourth quarter. And I just lost everything on my iPad. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it looks like Tennessee's going to win that game. There's only 27 seconds left on the SEC network and they're up by 17. Right after that game, you can catch number 10 Kentucky and number 8 Texas A&M. Now that's going to be a good one. The game I was looking forward to the most got canceled. Number 3 UConn, number 6 Baylor. I was so looking forward to that game. I was like, yes, I get to see UConn and Baylor. I believe Kim Mulkey contracted the coronavirus, so prayers to Kim Mulkey. But I was looking forward to UConn and Baylor. I was like, yes, circled that game on my calendar, yes. But I will be watching Kentucky and Texas A&M go at it. That's going to be a very good game. I have a lot to keep up with. So I have to watch the NBA tonight, have to watch some NCAA women's basketball tonight. The men's, I have to keep up with the men's game as well. But that game, I was really looking forward to. A game tomorrow that I'm looking forward to. It comes on at 1:30. It's going to be on the Pac-12 network. Number 11, Oregon. Number 1, Stanford. That game is going to be a very, very good game. Tomorrow, that game I'm really looking forward to. I will watch it 1:30. I will be at home. Saturday, any good games on Saturday? Number 17 and number 17 Texas and unranked West Virginia could be a good game because West Virginia's only lost 2 games. That could potentially be a good game. So I will probably catch some of that. That's on the Big 12 / ESPN Plus. Sundays we usually get all the good women's games. Let's see, we got Sunday on ESPN at 4:00. We got South Carolina at Kentucky. Whoo, Kentucky has a brutal little schedule. They got to play Texas A&M night and in South Carolina. That's in Kentucky. Let's see. Texas A&M plays Arkansas on Sunday on the SEC network at 3:00. That's in Arkansas. Baylor and Kansas State has been postponed, of course. Any other good games? Arizona, who has one of the best point guards in the country, plays Washington State. Arizona's ranked number 7. Washington State is not ranked, but Washington State is 6-1. Arizona is 8-1. Let's see. That's only good games that's coming on Sunday. So, guys, those are some scores around the women's game. Some good games. coming up. Texas A&M and Kentucky is going to be a great one. They play at 7:30, which they're going to play in about 15 minutes. Baylor and UConn got canceled. Not even postponed, but they got canceled. I wanted that game so bad. But I can get South Carolina. Oh, you get Oregon and Stanford on Friday, and I can get South Carolina and Kentucky on Sunday. So I'll be a busy woman. And then football comes on Sunday. So I'll be a busy woman on Sunday. I got my podcast. I got a live show. I got a lot to do on Sunday, ladies. A lot to do on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to do. Right now in the men's game, Iowa's playing Maryland, and Iowa's all over Maryland. 58-36. Indiana and Wisconsin are in a dogfight. Wisconsin has dogfight games because they play defense. 28-33. Colorado upset Oregon 79-72. BYU plays Gonzaga. That should be a good one. That should be a good one in the WAC. They play on ESPN at 7:30. Goodness, some good games. Illinois and Northwestern play on the Big Ten Network at 8 o'clock. Yeah, that Gonzaga BYU game. They played each other for the WAC championship last year, if I'm not mistaken. Was that BYU? I want to say yes. That's what I want to say. Let me see. Yeah, it was BYU they played last year. Let me make sure. WAC Conference Championship. Nope, they played St. Mary's. They played St. Mary's last year for the championship, I believe, for the WAC championship. My dog's going to bark, guys. My mom just pulled up. Let's see. Did they play? Canceled. The WCC, not the WAC. The WCC, guys. West Coast Conference. I am going crazy. The WCC. I'm going crazy. Yeah, Gonzaga won. Let me see who they played. I think they played St. Mary's for the championship. Yep, they did play St. Mary's. St. Mary's beat BYU. I watched that game. St. Mary's beat BYU, and then Gonzaga beat San Francisco. And then Gonzaga and St. Mary's played for the WCC. Okay, that's how it happened, guys. I had to make sure. But that's going to be a good game. Started down 10, went up 20-yard run, go Hawks. Okay. Yeah, they're balling. They're balling right now. They had a tough loss. Iowa did. Garrett from Iowa just made a comment. Yeah, they're on the roll now. They're on the roll. They've had 2 losses. Who did Iowa lose to? Let's see. They beat Rutgers. They lost to Minnesota. And they lost to Gonzaga. Okay, so they have 2 losses, but they're still number 5 in the country. Luke Garza just missed a 3. Maryland defensive rebound, but they're up 20 right now. I know my iPad might be lagging a little bit. Let's see if there's any good games coming on this weekend for men's basketball. Zags in Minnesota. Yeah. I just looked at the schedule. Texas and West Virginia is a good one. It's going to come on ESPN on Saturday at 12 at noon. Postpone. TCU and Baylor happens at 2 o'clock on ESPN. Oklahoma plays Kansas at 3:30 on CBS. Let me see. Number 19, Clemson plays North Carolina at 6 o'clock on ESPN. LSU 7-2, Missouri 7-2, but Missouri's ranked number 13. They beat Oregon last year. That's going to be on the SEC Network at 7:30. So some good games on Saturday. Not too bad on Saturday. On Sunday, though, you get number 16 Minnesota, number 5 Iowa at 1:30. Why is that not on TV? I wonder why that's not being televised. I would love to watch that game. Minnesota at Iowa at 1:30 on Sunday. That's right smack dab in the middle of divisional football. The divisional playoffs are this weekend for the NFL, so it's going to be tough sledding for college basketball fans unless you just don't watch the NFL and you just love college basketball, which would make sense. But there's some good games on the men's and women's side. All right, that's it for the NCAA, women's and men's. The NBA. The NBA has been a very different type of season, and we knew it would happen with the COVID protocols and everything like that. Kyrie's not playing tonight. Kevin Durant's not playing tonight. So it's a little different. I think Michael Porter Jr. isn't playing tonight for Denver. They play Dallas on TNT right after the Nets and Philly plays. So things have been happening differently. It's just a different kind of feel for the NBA. I was watching that 76ers and Nets game before I started my broadcast. 76ers are down 38-40. They're mid-second quarter. The Cavs and Grizzlies are underway. It is 8-5. The Mavs and Nuggets play on TNT right after the 76ers and Nets. The Spurs and the Lakers play at 9 o'clock. And then Portland and Minnesota plays at 9 o'clock as well. So I have to watch all those games. Hopefully I can catch those games. And let's see. Let's look at the NBA standings. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the NBA because I'm going to do it on a recap show. And I do it on my podcast a lot. But I can't really read too much into the NBA right now because they've only played 8. This is game 9 for a lot of teams. Only 9 games in the season. I'll really start talking about the NBA when they're about 20, 25 games into the season because I know what these teams are and what they look like. Some of these teams will be brought back down to reality and some of these teams will take off. I don't want to say who, but right now Brooklyn is 4-4. I don't expect Brooklyn to be the 8th seed in the East. The Cavs are 4-4. They're the 7th seed in the East. The Bucks are 5-3. The Knicks are 5-3. Knicks basketball, welcome back. If Tom Thibodeau starts playing Emmanuel quickly over Elfrid Payton, we might have something there. But Julius Randle is balling. And Obi Toppin hasn't really played much because he has an injury. The Celtics are 6-3. Indiana is 6-2. Oladipo and Sabonis, that combination looks very well. Miles Turner, I've accepted the fact that Miles Turner is who he is. He leads the NBA in blocks right now. The Orlando Magic are 6-2, but they lost Markelle Fultz. He was having such a great year. He signed a contract extension this short offseason that they had, and I really hate that for Markelle Fultz. When he went down, the angle that I saw it, you just saw his knee buckle. And prayers up to Markelle Fultz, man. Such a good guy. Number 1 overall pick out of Washington. Something happened with his shoulders. They tried to fix his shot. He got shipped from Philly to Orlando. Philly thought he was damaged goods. He's resurrected his career in Orlando. I really just don't like that for Markelle Fultz. And right now, the 76ers are on top of the East. They're 7-1. The Miami is 3-4. I don't expect them to stay there. The Hawks are 4-4. I think the Hawks will move up. The Bulls are 4-5. Shout out to Chicago Bulls, Kobe White, Wendell Carter, Otto Porter Jr. Those young guys are playing well. Patrick Williams is playing very well for them. The Raptors are 1-6. What the heck is going on in Toronto? They lost to Phoenix Suns, who are the number 1 seed in the West right now. They lost to the Phoenix Suns. Pascal Siakam, where are you? What's going on with Pascal? I have no clue. Whatever kind of funk he's in, he needs to jump out of it. And Detroit is 1-7. The Wizards are 2-6. The Wizards cannot stop anybody. I think Bradley Beal dropped 60 last night against Philly, and they still lost. So the Wizards just don't have any defense whatsoever. And the Hornets are 3-5. The Hornets are young. Devontae Graham is struggling right now. I expect for him to come out of that slump. But these teams will shake up. After 25 games, I expect for these standings to look different. Let's go to the West. That was the Eastern Conference, guys. Let's go to the West. The Memphis is 2-5. No Jaren Jackson Jr., no John Morant. Minnesota's 2-5. They don't have Cat right now. They're playing Portland tonight. Anthony Edwards looks like he's getting his feet wet and he's starting to figure things out. Houston's 2-4. I don't expect Houston to stay 2-4. Oklahoma City is 3-4. Shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder. San Antonio's 3-4. San Antonio's been playing surprisingly well. Derek White is out. He has a foot injury, and he's out, but we don't know how long he's going to be out. Denver's 3-4. I expect them to get better. But I do think Denver took a step back when they lost Jarian Grant, who's averaging 24, 25 a game right now for Detroit. Dallas is 3-4. Those two teams play tonight. KP is not playing. He might play tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any reports on Twitter about him playing tonight. But if they get KP back, Dallas will take their next step up. Can they stop anybody on defense? We don't know, but they can score a lot of points. Portland's 3-4. Portland's the same way. I don't think Portland will be the AFC. They're the AFC right now. Sacramento's 4-4. They won't be there. The Pelicans are 4-4. They lost to OKC by 1 last night. Utah 4-4. Golden State's 4-4. A lot of 4-4 teams. The Clippers are 6-3. The Lakers are 6-2, and Phoenix is 6-2. Phoenix is probably the most surprising team in the West. Whether you like Kendrick Perkins' takes or not, he said Phoenix would be a contender in the West, and he has receipts because he's been saying that. I said Phoenix will probably be the top 6 seed in the West. I will stick to that. I think Phoenix is very good. I think Chris Paul gives them that extra mojo that they needed. Mikal Bridges has stepped up. Cam Johnson has stepped up. DeAndre Ayton is still trying to get his feet wet. He's to stay out of foul trouble, but he's trying to get his feet up under him. I'm going to give him some time. Cameron Payne is playing well off the bench. Phoenix is just a good team. Monty Williams, I love me some Monty Williams. He's a great, amazing man. He coached at the Oklahoma City Thunder. He lost his family in a car wreck, took some time off from the NBA and came back into a head coaching position. So shout out to Monty Williams. I love Phoenix. The only team I'm not surprised being at the top of the West are the Lakers and the Clippers. I did have Golden State as the top 5 seed, so Golden State's 4 right now. They had that losing streak, and then Steph got aggressive. So Steph heard all of y'all on Twitter talking about him, and he got aggressive and went for 62, and then he went for 30 the next night, and Steve Kerr pulled him because they were blowing out. Who were they blowing out? They blew out the Kings. But they lost to the Clippers last night. But yeah. So Steph is back. Oubre's hitting shots now. Thank you, Kelly Oubre. Wiggins is who he is. Wiseman's playing very, very well. Steve Kerr just needs to open up that offense and tailor it more towards the team that he has. Having Draymond Green back is a huge impact for Golden State. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, Draymond makes a huge difference in that Golden State offense. That's the West. There's been some injuries. Killian Hayes tore his hip, something in his hip. Killian Hayes is a rookie from Detroit. He hasn't been playing very well. Maybe that's due to his hip injury. I'm not sure. But I think Derrick Rose should get those minutes. Derrick Rose is playing very, very well. He's a veteran. What are they going to do with Blake Griffin? Blake is just not the same guy. The injuries, they take a toll on you. Blake's been in the league for a while. What is Detroit going to do with Blake? I wonder how many points a game he's averaging. Let me see how many points a game Blake's averaging. He's averaging 14 points a game. I think that might be a career low for Blake. I don't think Blake's ever averaged 14 points a game. It might be a career low. Yeah, Jeremy Grant is averaging 24. Josh Jackson resurrected his career in Detroit, averaging 15.5. Derrick Rose, 15.3. Blake Griffin, 14.2. Sadiq Bey, a rookie. I love Sadiq Bey, averaging 10.4. Wayne Ellington, averaging 12. Yeah, Blake Griffin, what are you going to do with Blake Griffin? I just don't. What do you do with him? Because Derrick Rose is giving you 15 a game. He's giving you 15 a game, 15 a game, and 5 assists a game. So he's been productive. But Blake Griffin is just, the injuries have just gotten the best of him. I think they're starting to take a toll on him. He probably could resurrect his career somewhere else. I just don't think Detroit is the place for him. I don't think Detroit's the place for Derrick Rose either, but Derrick Rose is playing very well. And for now, Detroit's the place for him. But I think probably after this season, they might move on from both of those players. I wouldn't be surprised if Blake's on the trading block. If he gets traded, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. What does Toronto have to do to get better? Toronto is one of those teams where I had them in the playoffs. I knew they would take a step back with no Marc Gasol and no Serge Ibaka. Those are two huge key pieces from that championship run and from the run they had last year. That's a lot missing. As you miss a lot of inside presence, a lot of defense. With those two players out, Toronto just has not looked good at all. The Hawks have been good. They can score a lot of points, but they can't play defense. The Hawks will be good. Miami struggling. Jimmy Butler said we need to get it together now. And you do, because you only got 72 games this season. So I want the best for Blake Griffin, Oklahoma native. Went to the University of Oklahoma. Love watching him play in college, but I think the injuries have gotten the best of him. 14.2 has to be a career low for him. It has to be. I don't think he's ever averaged below probably 18 points a game. So career low numbers for Blake Griffin. When he's when he's on the court for Detroit, I don't even know he's there. So that's not good. But the West is gonna be fun. The Wild Wild West is gonna be fun. OKC is 3-4. You know what I mean? It's early in the season, and I get happy talking about my Oklahoma City Thunder. But they're 3-4 at the end of the day. They are 3-4. So it's going to be interesting to see how these standings shake up. After 25 games, I'll really go in on the NBA. I'm going to really go hard because that's when I'll know, okay, some things will happen, things will shake, and things will pan out the way they're supposed to. All right. College football. Boomer Sooner. All right. Dan Mullen. I laugh because it's funny. If you're a player for the University of Florida, how do you support a coach that doesn't even believe in you? I'm gonna say it to you like this. Dan Mullen flat out said, I thought our practice players played well. The last game we played was December. He said the SEC championship was the last game that my team actually played. He didn't even count that game against Oklahoma. Check this out. You're missing with your key receivers on offense. Okay. That does not make up for the fact that Cal Trask threw 3 interceptions right to the University of Oklahoma's defense. The second interception, he threw it behind him and got picked off, tip drill. The third interception he threw it straight to Woody Washington in the end zone. He tried to throw, I think, a fade or a jump ball, and it just got picked off. The first interception he threw to Trey Norwood, which was a pick 6, he threw it straight to Trey Norwood. I mean, Trey Norwood read the route. He was sitting there waiting on it, and Cal Trask just did not read the defense very well, and he threw a pick. He didn't play well at all. So what is your excuse for Cal Trask? You don't have one. All right, your defense. Your defense was horrible all season. And Oklahoma has one of the best offenses in the country. Did you not think Oklahoma was going to score at least 30 points? Come on now. I expected more from Florida. I actually thought it would be a pretty good game. I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be a pretty good game. It'll be a 1-score game. I think Oklahoma was like a 5-point favorite or something like that. I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be a good game. But Florida just didn't show up. And if I'm a player for that program, I look at my coach and I say, so we don't matter. So the only people that matter are the players that chose to opt out because they didn't want to get injured or they just didn't want to play. I have my feelings about opt-outs. I get it to a certain degree because you want to make your money. You are playing for free in college, but you want to go make your money and secure your future. I get that. But I would want to be on the field with my brothers. I would want to be on the field with my brothers and battle with my brothers till the end. A lot of players opted out. If they weren't in the college football playoff, they opted out. Some University of Oklahoma players didn't play either in the Cotton Bowl. Understandable. But I just don't get why you made an excuse for how bad your team played. Your team just did not show up at all. And is that a reflection of you? Yes. The comments you made, which is unexcusable. Shout out to the University of Oklahoma for winning a Cotton Bowl. and they'll be back. They'll be a top 14 next year. I guarantee it. Spencer Rattler will be back. Their defense looks great, looks hungry. Got some 5-star recruits coming in. Alex Grinch will be in his 3rd season next year. That defense made huge strides. So the defense is coming back. Trey Norwood is going somewhere. Not going somewhere else. Trey Norwood decided to go to the NFL. Trey Brown didn't play. He's one of our top corners and return men. He didn't play in the Florida game, so he's preparing to go to the NFL. Mordecai, one of our backup quarterbacks, he transferred. Chandler Morris transferred to TCU because we are getting Caleb Williams, number 1 quarterback in the nation, next year. So right after Spencer plays next year, Caleb Williams is going to step in the year after that. So that makes sense for those 2 quarterbacks to transfer. I think Turner Yell transferred, and I think Robert Barnes transferred. A huge transfer, in my opinion. Charleston Rambo is decided to enter the transfer portal. I thought he would be OU's second leading receiver this year because he was second in receptions last year. If I'm thinking correctly, CeeDee Lamb led us in receptions last year, of course. He was second. So I thought this year, okay, this would be his year. But Marvin Mims took off. Theo Weiss had his moments. Hazelwood was out with an injury, but he'll be back next year. We'll see what Bridges can bring. He'll be back fully next year. So him transferring made some sense. And I'm not sure what receivers we'll get next year. So he decided to transfer. He had a down year. Caleb said he wanted him to hit at Florida State. But if he goes to Florida State, wherever he goes, I'll be cheering for him. Justin Fields. Oh, my goodness, guys. Justin Fields put on a show against Clemson, and I was not expecting that. Ohio State hasn't played well all year long. Trey Sermon went bonkers in the Big Ten championship game, and they barely beat Northwestern. They came out against Clemson, and Justin Fields heard the critics. He heard Mel Kiper Jr. He heard Todd McShay. Like, he heard the critics, and he played great. He threw 6 touchdowns. Trey Sermon ran all over that Clemson defense, and Justin Fields slang it all over that Clemson defense. And I love Brent Venables. He used to coach the University of Oklahoma. He used to coach the defense. He didn't have an answer for that offense at Ohio State. Ohio State went crazy. That's the Ohio State I was expecting this year. Honestly, I was expecting that type of Ohio State team this year. They didn't play well this year at all, but they did go 6-0, and they did win the Big Ten, and they won the Big Ten championship. They won a Big Ten West, and then won the Big Ten championship, or the Big Ten North, or whatever the divisions are. They won a division. I was not expecting that from Ohio State. I thought the game would be closer. Trevor Lawrence did not play particularly well in that game. Ohio State just controlled the tempo, controlled the game. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. They got whatever they wanted. And thank you, the Big Ten East. Thank you. He's a Big Ten guy. I know it's East and West, and Pac-12 is North and South. Oh, Big 12 used to be North and South. So they won a Big Ten East. Oh, Northwestern won a Big Ten West. That makes sense. Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting that from Ohio State. It shocked me. Clemson scored first. I said, okay, Clemson. And Ohio State came back. Trey Sermon ran the first touchdown. And Ohio State just kept scoring the football. So shout out to Justin Fields. He played very, 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 very well. If you took the over in that game, you won some money. If you had Ohio State beating Clemson by double digits, you won a lot of money because Clemson was favored in that game. So you won some money if you put your money on Ohio State. You won a lot of money. Alabama and Notre Dame. Alabama did not cover. I think they were 17.5 favorites. They did not cover in that game, but they did win it 31-17. It was closer than I thought it would be, but I think Notre Dame ran the ball and tried to control the tempo because they didn't want Mac Jones and Devontae Smith to go crazy, even though Mac Jones and Devontae Smith ended up going crazy anyway. They kind of held Najee Harris in check a little bit, but how do you defend Devontae Smith? I mean, in college, the NFL is a different animal. You got linebackers that can run 4.4s in the NFL. So his NFL career is going to be very interesting to watch. He went crazy. He won a Biletnikoff today. Mac Jones won the award for best quarterback. Let me go to it on my timeline. Let's see. I know the awards, Amber. You know the awards. You have to go. Let me go look at them on my timeline. I know the receiver award is Bolitnikov. The best interior lineman in college football, the Outland, went to Alex Leatherwood. He plays on the offensive line for Bama. He'll be a first-round pick. Bolitnikov went to Devontae Smith. He also won the Heisman. Shout out to him. The Davey O'Brien Award went to Mac Jones. So Alabama cleaned up in the awards department. I think Devontae Smith also won College Football Player of the Year. If I'm not mistaken, he won that as well. He's the first receiver to win the Heisman since Desmond Howard. So shout out to Devontae Smith. I knew he probably would win the Heisman. Kyle Trask, I don't even know how somebody voted for him after he showed up the way he showed up against the University of Oklahoma. I think Trevor Lawrence finished second, Mac Jones finished third, and Kyle Trask finished fourth. There were your four finalists. And then I think Breece Hall finished sixth or seventh. I want to say Najee Harris was in the top 10, of course. Breece Hall's running back from Iowa State. He led the Big 12 in rushing. Breece Hall will be I think he'll be a second-round pick, depending on when running backs go. But he'll be one of the three. He's a top 3 running back because you got Breece Hall, you have Najee Harris, and you also have Travis Etienne out of Clemson. So those 3 are the top 3 running backs in the nation. Devontae Smith was clearly the best receiver in college football. I think if Jamar Chase would have played this year, he probably would have given him a run for his money. Jamar Chase saw that quarterback situation in LSU and said, no, thank you. I'll get ready for the draft. He did not know about the NCAA sanctions that LSU would suffer this season, even though they weren't going to go to a bowl game anyway. But Jamar Chase made a great business decision, in my opinion. College football has been very interesting. Notre Dame actually did not play a bad game. It's just that Alabama is just the best team in the country. I think Alabama and Ohio State would be a great game. If we get that same Ohio State team we got against Clemson, it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to see Justin Fields and Mac Jones go at it. I'm not sure where Mac Jones would get drafted. He doesn't handle pressure very well. I'll look more into that. I also want to see what Todd McShay thinks about Mac Jones. I know how he feels about Justin Fields. I know how he feels about Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence is not playing. Trevor Lawrence decided to go to the NFL. He did declare the other day. Today, Kellen Mond, the quarterback from Texas A&M, declared as well. Texas A&M is coming off their win against North Carolina in the Orange Bowl. Kellen Mond played very, very well in that game. So college players got an extra year of eligibility. So you can come back and play another season if you want to, or you can declare. He decided to declare. A player that I'm looking for to see if he stays or goes is Ramondre Stevenson from Oklahoma, the running back from Oklahoma. Played very, very well against Florida. When he came back, that offense changed. I would love to see him and Kennedy Brooks in the backfield next year, but if he decides to go to the NFL, I would not blame him. Kennedy Brooks set out this season. McGowan played very well. You got Mikey Henderson. He kind of does it all, a little speed back. TJ Pledger decided to transfer. He was a 5-star recruit. I think he was a top 2 or 3 running back in the country. Hey, Perry, how you doing at the time? But at Oklahoma, running backs that position has depth. The wide receiver position has depth. The quarterback position has depth. So if you get injured, like Trey Sermon got injured last year, it was him and Kennedy Brooks and Ramondre Stevenson all in one backfield. He got hurt, decided to use his grad transfer and go to Ohio State. He and Master Teague split carries. I didn't think Ryan Day used him properly. And at the end of the season, you saw Trey Sermon take off. He just took off. This is who Trey Sermon is. This is not nothing new. We've seen at the University of Oklahoma when Trey Sermon was splitting carries with Kennedy Brooks. Lincoln Riley knew how to use him properly. Ryan Day's figuring it out, using him properly. I think Trey Sermon is going to run over that Bama defense. If Ohio State's offensive line can control the line, I think he would do great things. Now, Bama's defensive line is not for the slight. Okay. Bama's defensive line is, I'm looking forward to seeing Olave and Surtain go at it. I think that will be the matchup for the receiver cornerback matchup. That's going to be the matchup. Wherever Olave goes, Surtain's going to go. He's going to follow him. So those other receivers are going to have to step up for Ohio State. I want to see if they use Trey Sermon in a passing game. I think they should. Oklahoma did that very, very well because he is a dual back. He can catch the ball at the backfield, also can run between the tackles. I wonder if Master Teague will be healthy. Justin Fields, he just needs to be smart with the football. Mac Jones against that Ohio State defense will be very, very interesting. Devontae Smith, what do you do with him? Are you going to put Shaun Wade on Devontae Smith and give him safety help? What are you going to do with Devontae Smith? How are you going to stop Najee Harris? And that they got a trio there at Alabama, and it works. It works for them. That's going to be an interesting national championship game. I'll be talking about that national championship game on Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central with the Unwrapped Sports Network. Caleb, it'll be me, Caleb, Isabel. So far, I think Garrett's coming on. There's going to be a lot of us talking about that national championship game. Now, they were thinking about postponing it due to COVID protocols. It seems like the state of Ohio just cannot stay out of COVID protocols. The Cleveland Browns seems like they had a COVID protocol every single week. And you got Ohio State with the COVID protocols as well. Like, come on, Ohio. What is going on in Ohio? I have no clue. But that national championship should be a great game. A great, great game. I do not want to see a blowout. I don't think it'll be a blowout as long as Ohio State comes and shows up the way that they played against Clemson. They played the way they played against Clemson, it'll be a very good game. If they played the way they played at the beginning of the season, it will not be a very good game because Alabama can score a lot of points. Jalen Waddle. It's been rumored that he's been practicing with the team. Now, I don't know how true this is, but if Jalen Waddle is playing, and you got Devontae Smith, and you got Najee Harris in the backfield, and you got Mac Jones slinging the ball everywhere, that could be interesting. That was rumored that he's been practicing. Jalen Waddle hurt himself third, fourth game of the season, but he's a projected top first or second round pick. If he plays, boy, Ohio State's going to have their hands full. Well, I wonder because it's been rumored. Nobody wanted to answer the question. It was kind of like they asked Devontae Smith, he's been rumored, been practicing. Devontae's like, I don't know nothing about that. So shout out to you, Devontae Smith, for staying loyal and not snitching. I know Nick Saban is kind of looking at him in the corner like, you bet not say nothing. But if Jalen Waddle plays, that'll be very interesting to see. I love Jalen Waddle. It really sucks that he got injured beginning of the season. That offense would have been more powerful than what it already was with Jalen Waddle. They put up a lot of points. Bama's putting up almost 50 points a game. All right, before I close the show, if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, I'm going to say this one more time. Shout out to the WNBA for what they've done in their political matters. I don't talk about politics on my show, but I had to bring this to the attention of my viewers. Also, Renee Montgomery is thinking about buying it. Her and Marshawn Lynch what are they doing together? Renee Montgomery and Marshawn Lynch are doing something together. I can't remember what they're doing together. They're buying a team or something together. Renee Montgomery says she's interested in the Dream. LeBron James said he was interested in buying the Atlanta Dream. Also, Carmelo Anthony. So that could be interesting. And also, Renee Montgomery and Marshawn Lynch want to be co-owners for a pro football team. I'm not sure which one. But if that happens, man, Black ownership would be great to see, especially in Atlanta. Atlanta is so cultured. Like, you know what I mean? Their owner in Atlanta, and I hate saying owner, but their owner in Atlanta, she has to go. She lost the race. She made those comments. Georgia is now blue, which is huge. Shout out to Stacey Abrams. That is huge in itself. But yeah, Atlanta has a black head coach. They need to hire a black head coach for the football team. They got a black head coach for the NBA team. Atlanta is just so cultured. So much culture in Atlanta. It just makes sense. But if all those NBA players and WNBA players got together and decided to purchase the Atlanta Dream, I think that would be wonderful and beautiful to see. But Renee Montgomery joins Marshawn Lynch as co-owners of a pro football. Let me see. A pro football team. Let's see. The Beast. It's in the new FCF league. So we'll hear more about that, of course. Richard Sherman wants a piece of that pie. Austin Eckler wants a piece of that pie. Quavo is also a co-owner of the Glacier Boys. So Johnny Manziel, that's the league that Johnny Manziel signed with, the FCF. FCF, yes. So that's interesting. Renee Montgomery has done a lot. Like, she's a busy woman. She took the season off, Social Injustice. She got engaged. She has a podcast. She used to go live on NBA TV a lot. Like, Renee Montgomery is doing a lot. Shout out to Renee Montgomery. But that's what's going on. I want to give a last shout out to the WNBA for their efforts and what they've done. Man, it cannot go unnoticed what they did in the Wubble. And they made a huge political statement in the Wubble. And I'm so proud of my sisters for standing up for what they believe in and fighting the good fight, as I said. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for this episode. I'll be back next week. I'm going to have my special guest. I know I was supposed to have her today. I'm going to do it sometime this month, guys. Just stay tuned. I will have her. She will be breaking down everything NCAA for the women's side. We'll be talking about women's college basketball, probably the whole episode. So if you don't know much about the women's game, then that's the episode you should tune into. But I will let you guys know when that happens. Before we get off of here, before we sign off, got to pay some bills. teespring.com/store/unwrapped. Ladies First gear is now on the site. I have coffee mugs. I have t-shirts. I'll be wearing my t-shirt as soon as I ordered on Friday, probably in another week or two, because it takes like 2 weeks to come in. And I'll have my coffee mug, sipping my water. You guys go support everybody from the Umbrella Sports Network. The live lineup has their gear on there as well. MyBookie.ag. Use the code USN100. Double your first deposit up to $1,000. So you can get two grand. You can get $2,000 off of that. RxHemp.com. Use the code RxHemp/USN. Get 10% off your order. Sore, achy muscles. It's getting cold outside. CBD cream. Get you some. Keeping It Blunt is a new show with Perry, which is one of the founders, and Caleb. He does Unwrap These Bands, and he also does College Football Live. That will be funny. I'm going to laugh at them because they are funny characters. I'm telling you, they're funny guys. And when they're keeping it blunt, literally, that's going to be very funny. So that's a new show that's coming from the Unwrapped Sports Network. Not at 9 o'clock, but 2 hours away. No, an hour away from now, you can watch Backstop Banter with Michael. With Michael and Connie. They do Backstop Banter. That show, baseball. If you love baseball, go check those guys out. So they come on at 9 Eastern. I'm coming back on StreamYard to do an NBA recap tonight. I'm going to go watch the second half of this 76ers and Nets game. Then I'll watch the Mavs and Nuggets, and I'll talk about both of those games. Then I'll be back next week, guys. I'll be back next week. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.